How's it going, everybody? Daggy with you for Show Us Your Tips for Pro Group Racing midweek preview time. Apologies from the Beaver, who is on the way to an important meeting, but he has sent through his tips for the afternoon. So we'll get through them as we get through the day. We kick off with the midweek card, though, at the Kenso track with the rail in the 4 metre mark on a soft track after a bit of rain overnight. Not too bad scratchings-wise, unlike Melbourne, but we kick off the day with an 1100 metre maiden for the 3-year-olds, which looks to be a pretty good race. I think there'll be some nice horses coming through this one. I'm going to start the day with the blue colours, though. Silvanito, who he has trialled well off debuting down south last spring. Two very nice trials back for this. Bowman booked, trying to get a nice blending run, and I think will be very hard to beat here. From Cote, in fact, at odds, who for the Cummings yard, who ran around all the bogs in the some of that stuff through the autumn. Not sure how strong that form actually is out of it, but I'm forgiving a lot of that given the state of the track. And the trials coming back here were very good, and it's double figures. I think some nice each way chances. The Beaver is with Great Barrier Reef, number 2, who for J Mac and Waller, who has come back and trialled okay for this. But the race doesn't end there. I think it's an exciting race to get a feel on. The second is a 1300 metre maiden for the 3-year-olds, where at the end of the day, I was sort of left with the favourite Zoo Tiger by default. J Mac and O'Shea, 2 okay runs, including a Saturday second at Zoo Gotcha Reads well, and then Saturday second at the Gosford meeting there. It trialled okay for this, but I couldn't really find anything I wanted to steam into to take it on out of the trials, bits and pieces, but sticking with it as is Beaver. Race 3 is let's just make sure we're all recording. Yep. Race 3 is the benchmark 72 over the 1150, where I was giving, despite the weight, Never Seconds come back from chasing Shades of Rose last time. Before that, Conrad with a gap back to third. I think it's going all right. I think fits in this song pretty well. For the end at the each way price, happy to play there. Obviously, beep test going well again, J Mac and O'Shea, and has been building to a win, but you'd sort of like to see him do it by now. Beaver is with Rita May in race number 3 there, but a nice week each way play for me. Double second, Never Second. Race 4, 1550 benchmark 72, where I did like the win of Tahunga last start. I'm not sure there's a great deal of guts going into the race, and it won well enough though, but stylish enough too. And Nash is stuck. I think sets up to do the same here. May get close to control of this race now, and should be hard to beat. And I had the main danger is Fjordland coming back inside gate here for Waller, should be closer. Willie Pike and double figure odds. I think they're the 2 that can run it really well here. The Beaver is with the 10, in fact, New Republic, and the 11 at Pink Ivory as each way plays in this race. Race 5, the 1250 benchmark 72, where after scratchings, I'm left with Devil's Throat. Clearly on top here. Trialled up well for this one. Came through some okay midweek and provincial stuff last prep. Ended up in the Hawkesbury Guineas on the wet there behind Mr. Mozart, so you couldn't take much of that, but leading up to that was running really well. I think trials again have been good. Sam Clipperton on's no issue at all, and there's a real lack of opposition here. So I was with it from Turning, who may roll forward from that gate and give them something to chase. The Beaver is with number 12, who's been scratched. Race 6 is the 1400 metre benchmark 72. Where Beaver's best of the day, Arnold comes up here. Very, very impressive last time out, admittedly, at Saturday Provincial, but J-Mac now goes on. Looks like a real nice mover. And I agree with him. I don't think there's a lot else that he has to beat here. A very nice win. I think he's going to travel up nicely, up in distance again, suits. And, sticking at 1400 suits, I think he will get out to the mile, I should say. But should have this covered on the way to perhaps better things. around the even money mark, and I will double down with Beaver and make it my best of the day. Can forgive Kudarati here. Outside lead on the Saturday last time. Did retire from the race. Maybe want to see a bit more there, but Nash and perhaps rolling forward from that gate puts him back into this race here. But the favourite hard to beat. And we're going to wrap up the day with Bjorn in the last over 1,000 metres, a benchmark 72. But I really did like the win of Miss J Fox last time. Again, J-Mac, what have I got him for? 4 or 5 winners again, which is something different on a Wednesday. We'll truck up here behind them and should have most of these covered. I've actually struggled to find too much I wanted to dive into. Propel first up for Nathan Doyle, maybe interesting here. Just as complete different form, but the rest of this is largely provincial stuff, and stuff that Miss J Fox beat last time, in fact. So happy to stick with it. And the Beaver's going to come home with Wahagehu at double figures. And no, we've got race 7. The Beaver's coming home with the 6 and the 11, which would be Eyewitness and Holy Tycoon in the last. For progretracing.com.au, as I mentioned, Arnold is my best of the day at Kensington, and I'll make my value never second on what looks to be a pretty good betting card, actually, given they've managed to avoid some of the rain that we've got out west, and should be a good day's racing. I'm not sure if we can say the same necessarily about Sandown, where it is still a heavy 9. Only 7 races. I don't know if that's something that's going to happen going forward, or whether we've lost one there. Rails 6 meters. Last time it was in a similar setup. It was the last time Chief Altley won, but they're coming on down the middle of the track, which is perhaps a good thing. We kick off with a 1,200 meter maiden. We're again like the first in Sydney. It's an interesting race. There might be some nice horses coming through here. A couple I was happy to suspect at a bit of a price. Connecticut for the Mark Maroney out. I think its jump outs have been good. Gaza Blanca trials very good for Maring Eustace, and Okahuni Carrot all have trialled up pretty well for this. I think this is a wide race. I'm not going to play big on it, but maybe pick out the bigger prices of those 3 and look around there. Race 2 is a benchmark 64. Beavers, he's handsome for the Moody Yard there. Race 2 is a benchmark 64 over the 1,400 meters, where after scratchings, Beaver has ploughed into Mares here for Zara and Mick Kent. They went to some good stuff on a Saturday last prep. Trialled up okay here and resumes in what looks a very winnable race. I was happy to stick with Rich Divinity. I thought it ran well last week. Quick back up into the wet track here. We'll roll forward under Newark, and you're getting double figures even after scratching. I think it's going to run really well here. At the price, just nabbed by Botany last term, it was a horse I have a bit of an opinion of, and I think is right in this race at the price. Race 3, we're just looking through here. I'm left with the scratching of Edith with the favourite Saber Princess on top. Do I really want to back it at the price? No. So I probably won't be betting. Beaver has it on top as well. Race 4, the 2,100 meters benchmark 64. Beaver's going to spec the 10-11 Gemini Dancer and In Dreams You're Mine, both at a big price there. I'm going to stick with, despite the weight, Fengarada, a little wet tracker. Absolutely flying. This prep has been playing through these tracks all the way through. They've got a heavyweight rider on in Aaron Lynch, which can't be a bad thing. And has already beaten most of this field. I think it's going to run well at the price. I think you get double figures as well. From the favourite Outback Jack, who has Jamie Carr on for Lindsay Smith. So nice resumption and sets up pretty well here, straight out to the 2,100 metres. I think it's a good little betting race. Race 5, same setup this time for the mares, a benchmark 70. And I was sticking with Hard Squeeze. Pretty much owned most of these last time. Gets the same sort of setup, same sort of blending run, and I think it's going to have the same sort of result and run really well. Beaver has gone with, as value, number 9, Adela Bell, which is fair enough. And the win of Manor is a Miss was outstanding last time. Missed the start, ploughed through a wet track along the rail and got up and won well, and is in this race. And Generally, I find those lightly raced up and comers, so maybe I should be a bit more scared there. It will run well as well. Race 6 left me a little bit uncomfortable just looking through the scratchings. Now I'm a bit more comfortable. I had found a lot of first uppers in this race and they've all come out, which makes my life a little bit easier. So I'm left with Gillette on top. Tried really well. Comes here on the back of some nice runs in town last time, and now meets a lot of older horses who may well have met their mark. I think it's going to run really well at the price. Some of the scratchings that have come out of this race, I think, are worth following. It likes Rebel Choice and Facilia, who we'll see down the line. Keep an eye out for when they resume, presumably on some nicer tracks. But Gillette on top for me. Beaver has gone with Picaronis, the blue colours, resuming down in Melbourne for Ollie. We wrap up the day with a benchmark 70 over the 1200 metres, where the Beaver's best of the day comes up Sandy Prince, now being backed into 290. It was a nice price overnight, pre-scratchings, obviously. I'm with him. It was a nice resumption there. Sat outside lead on a Saturday and held on pretty well. Now comes here. I think it's going to get a softer lead for Jamie Mott. I think it's gone really well, and I am going to now make it my best of the day as well. So we're in step at both tracks. I think main dangers have all come out here, and not a lot else I'm going to talk about. And make my value for progretracing.com.au. Rich Divinity earlier in the day, I think runs well. Up in Brisbane for the Beaver, he sent through his tips from up north. Race 3, number 4, which I'll just bring up here. Race 3, number 4 is Dream Weaving, about the $2.30 mark. Race 5, number 4, Outback Playboy, again around $3 there. Race 6, number 2, Wheels for David Van Dyke. And his best up there comes up in the last, number 2, Argyle Lane, looking to make it 3 in a row. Will run well again, according to the Beaver. A whirlwind look through midweek racing this afternoon. Good luck, punters. And we'll be back to look at Memsey Stakes Day on Saturday. 2 cracking looking cards, as well as I believe the Sandominigo at Rose Hill. We'll be in person to chat with the Beaver and have a good long look at some of those feature races. Good punting. Take care, and we'll talk soon.